Students of class 10th, in this video we will revise lesson number 1 of geography, resources and development. First, let us discuss what is a resource. In very simple sentence, what we can say, any element of the environment which can be used to satisfy our needs or requirements can be termed as a resource. Or in other words, what we can say, everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resource. The process of transformation of things available in our environment involves an interdependent relationship. So, this interdependent relationship is shown by this diagram between the nature, human beings, and the technology. So, we can take an example. A river is a natural endowment or gift. It becomes a resource when human beings use it. Human beings use technology and develop institutions to convert the natural endowment into a resource. After that, we will discuss about the characteristic of the resources. Some of the important characteristics what we can count here. First one, the resources are found in our environment. Second, they are made available to us or to domestic animal as a result of human activities. Human activities can transform materials available in our environment and give them value. Next point, the resources can be renewable or non-renewable. So these are some of the common characteristics. After that, we will discuss about the classification of resources. First classification, that is on the basis of origin. On the basis of origin, resources can be of two types, biotic resources and abiotic resources. The resources which are having life are known as biotic resources, or in other words, what we can say, living components of the environment which can satisfy our needs are termed as biotic resources. We can take the example of human beings, flora and fauna, fisheries, livestock, etc. Abiotic resources. These are the resources which don't have any life, or in other words, what we can say, non-living components of the environment which can be used to satisfy our needs are termed as abiotic resources. We can take the example of rocks, we can take the example of metals. After that, we will discuss about classification of resources on the basis of exhaustibility. On the basis of exhaustibility, resources can be of two types, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are the natural resources which can be used again and again or can be reproduced by physical, mechanical, and chemical processes. We can take the example of solar energy, air, water, soil. After that, non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are the natural resources that cannot be replaced at all or within a reasonable time. Fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and coal are examples of non-renewable resources. These resources accumulated over millions of years. They are considered to be non-renewable resources because once they are used up, they are gone forever. After that, we will discuss about classification of resources on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, resources can be of different types. First one, individual resources. Resources which are owned by private individuals are known as individual resources. We can take the example of plots, fields, horse, car, books, etc. After that, community resources. Community owned resources are accessible to all the members of the community. We can take the example of village ponds, public park, playgrounds, etc. Then national resources. All the resources which are under the control of the state or the union government are known as national resources. All the resources within political boundaries are national resources because the government had the power to acquire even private property. Now, international resources. So, with regard to the international resources, these resources are owned and regulated by international institutions. The oceanic resources beyond 200 kilometers of exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean. No individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of international institutions. India has got right to mine manganese nodules from the bed of Indian Ocean from that area which lies beyond the exclusive economic zone. After that, we will discuss about classification of resources on the basis of development. So with regard to the classification of resources on the basis of development, resources can be of different types. First one, potential resources. Resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized due to lack of capital or other reason. For example, the western part of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy. But so far, these have not been developed properly due to lack of technical know-how or the capital. Then developed resources. These are the resources which have been surveyed and their quality and the quantity have been determined for utilization. The development of resources depends on technology and level of their feasibility. For example, India has a cumulative total of 2,47,847 million tons of coal resources. After that, a stock. These are the materials in the environment which have the potential to satisfy the human needs but could not be used as the human beings do not have the appropriate technology to convert them into usable form. For example, water H2O is a compound of two inflammable gases, hydrogen and oxygen. But human beings do not have the required technology to use them as source of energy. After that, reserve. These are the subset of the stock which can be put into use with the existing technology, but their uses have been postponed, keeping in mind the needs of the future generation. For example, India has sufficient amount of forest to fulfill the needs of the present generation, but they are being protected for the future generation. So next part we will discuss in the next video.